Go!
Hindi ko dito makita.
Hello, welcome back to our video. Let us introduce ourselves. Is
So, I'm Jeno again.
I am Jan, and now we will be configuring Windows Server 2016. So,
Yes.
to start, here. What is the first task that we have to do?
So, our first task is... Wait, nag-loading siya. So, before going and start configuring the Windows Server 2016, the first thing that we need to do is to install the guest additions. Install guest additions. Because guest additions consists of device drivers and system programs for better performance and usability. So, yun, sabotable na siya na ang function ng pag-install ng guest additions is for better performance and usability. And also, um, some of the benefits of installing these features is to have a better video performance so that we can display the VM desktop in full screen mode.
So, yes, I will.
Ay, na-install na.
I have here.
Hello. So yun, since my partner here already installed the guest additions, let's jump to... Asan ba dapat mag-diretso dun?
Guest additions.
Asan na tayo?
Wala pa tayo naka-install ng guest additions. So,
Naram.
explanation fairness kanina. Before installing the guest additions, the virtual machine display size does not fit into the host display screen. This is why you can see the whole desktop. For example, if the VM screen is maximized, you can see the whole desktop content. If you want to click on the start menu, you have to scroll down the slider to the bottom and scroll it up to display the top of the desktop. So here, no, we don't have to right here. You can see the start menu. When installing guest additions, you can also copy files between the guest and host operating system using clipboard. So now we have to install guest additions. First is, what do we have to do?
First is go to the devices menu, then click on the insert guest additions CD image.
Here.
You can see the...
What happened?
Okay na? Then after nyan is go and open Explorer. Okay mo na?
Then go and open Explorer. Explorer, this one?
Yung sa baba, yung parang folder sa maliit. And then go click on the PC icon, and you can see that the CD drive labeled as VirtualBox Guest Additions was added. Yan. So now double click mo siya to open the content, and you'll double click on the VBox Windows Edition to run the setup.
This one.
Yes. Look na.
Fourth task.
So for the fourth task or step is, the setup process is pretty simple. You just have to follow these steps and let the default selected values. So, normally, kung mag-install kasi tayo ng mga software before, okay, gina-follow lang natin kung ano yung mga defaulted na setup settings.
Yes.
And also, it also applies in installing guest additions. So, a pop-up window is shown after niya, tapos niya.
Then I have to click next, right? Next.
Ano lang ito?
Continue, next. Yeah.
So, while she is doing those things, A pop-up window is shown asking to confirm the software installation, and be sure that the Always Trust Software from Oracle checkbox is enabled. Click Install button, the setup will continue. You can notice that the screen flashed to black color. Back. This is because a custom video driver is being installed. So yun, flash to black color na siya. So the reason bakit siya ganyan is a custom video driver is being installed and is testing the display. So dili siya siya nag-glitch. Part ng glitch yung pag-setup.
Okay. Glitching scares me. Next is, at the end of installation, restart the VM so that the new features take effect. So I'll click finish. We will be rebooting it now. Now, it's restarting. Ooh, finally. And now, as you've noticed, the display of the virtual machine has just been resized to fit the screen. The screen size, diba? Napansin mo, it became bigger.
Wait. Sorry. Di allergic ko.
Now you can easily display the VM desktop in full screen mode by going to the view menu and select the full screen option, or by hitting the Ctrl F key combination. To switch back to normal display, hit the Ctrl F keys. Now let's see what happens if you want to reduce the screen. Ctrl F.
Okay, Ctrl F.
Control F. On your keyboard, you should use the right Control key side on your keyboard.
Okay.
Control full screen. So,
Ako Control F. Okay. Fix. Not pwede for fix.
yeah, pwede to fix. So, I will add a wait.
So, yun.
Here, this will pop up.
Ano yun?
It's like, is it still there? No. Can you see it? Here. There.
Okay, final. Wait.
So if you wanted to switch it to host keys currently defined as right control, and then you can switch it. But I am not sure if you can see it. Can you see it? Tapos
Yes.
Control F naman to resize.
Resize ulit. So the desktop size is reduced, but it always fits into the new size, and you don't have to scroll up and down to reach any particular desktop feature. Actually, it's a handy feature.
Now, Control Delete to turn our
Close siya
password.
Taas sa pang pili doon, na dash.
Nako, mali.
011 ha?
There. Next is, where do we have to go? Task 3.2.
So, under the task 3.2, we have, in general, we have to change the server name. So, we have to do device naming convention.
So first, change the server name from the server manager, which is displayed just after you open a session. If it is not displayed, you can open it from Windows Start menu, and under the Windows Server zone, click on Server Manager. So here, it automatically opened. Next is the second is now in the Server Manager. Click on the local server where you can find the computer name property. After installing Windows, a randomly generated name is attributed to the server. Let me see, where is the... Click on the local server. local server here. Can you see my mouse? Local
Local
server.
server.
And
Then,
then it finally generated a random name here. Properties here for win to something like that.
then also,
Now,
if we change,
next is we have to change it.
just click on the name to open the system properties window, then click on the change button as indicated.
What should what name should we change it?
Let me see, bro. Wait lang.
Here, number
Wala,
4.
kung anong name. Next, the enter the server name under the computer user and assign the name convention. So server name will be PH, then the country, and DC for the city.
PHDC site code
Ah,
type P to indicate that it's a production server, another 3 characters for your first 3 letters in your last name. BAL for Balaman, then 01 for the sequence number. When finished, click OK. PHDCADC dash P Val Val
Val.
Vini na lang, Vini 01
Vilnius.
Victor Flores Nicolas 01. When finished, click OK. Finish, click OK. You will be then warned that you must restart the computer to apply these changes. OK.
So, okay na.
Where is the warning? Wala lagi.
Ito na change.
I mean, walang tama mo yun.
Sino ulit ba?
Dito ba
Bakit?
dapat i-change? Computer description pala yun.
Ay.
Computer description. Okay. Okay. I failed you. Sorry. Okay. Yan. Naglabas na. You must restart your computer.
Okay.
So, di mo makita. Restart. The screenshot does not follow the direction. Kailangan natin restart, di ba? Start the server later. We have to start the server later.
Yes.
Next is task 3.2. our next task is on assigning IP address.
Saan ito?
Task 3.3.
Okay.
Can you read the task
I will read.
3.3?
Read ko.
Yes, please.
So in assigning IP address, to change the IP address, hover on the network icon in the taskbar, then right-click to open the context menu. Ano ba?
Next.
And then click on the Open Network and Sharing Center. Open Network and Sharing Center. Ano ba?
Oo, meron. Ito na.
Okay. And then, after that, under the Active Network Zone, go and click on the Network Interface Connected. So here, there is only one interface named Internet. Click on it to open the Internet status panel. Click mo.
Click on it. I clicked on it, but there is here.
And then next click on the Properties button, and in the Internet Properties panel, select Internet Protocol version 4 Properties. And then Internet Properties panel, select Internet Protocol version 4.
Oops, it's lagging.
Huh? Ooh. Sige lang, we'll wait because patience is a virtue.
Yes, patience is a virtue. Here, there it is. Next, number 4 is click on the Properties button, then Properties panel, select Internet Protocol version 4.
And then click on the Properties button. Dami pa lang properties, boss.
Properties button. And then,
as you can see, the server has attributed an automatic IP address by default via the DHCP protocol. So, to give a server a fixed IP address, meron ba? Wala.
Is meron. Then, no.
Okay, so, to give a server a fixed IP address, use the following IP address, then enter. So the IP address, sa IP address 10.10.10.10.
10.10.10. Oh my god.
And then the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0.
That's 0. And the default gateway.
Default gateway is 10.10.10.1.
10.10.10.1.
And after that, we need to enter the DNS server so that the server can resolve hosts on the local network and websites on the internet. And the preferred DNS server will be the server itself, as we will set a DNS server role to this one. So enter the loopback IP address, which is 127.0.0.1. So sa mga hindi nakakaalam po, ang loopback IP is a special IP address which refers to the local host itself. So instead of using the IP address na 10.10.10.10, we will use the loopback IP. Actually, it's very handy because the server IP can change in the future, but the loopback IP will never change. Set it up and forget it. Okay. So ang difference pala ng server IP is pwede mo siya ma-change. But ang loopback, if after mo siya na-set, di mo siya ma-change na and you can Forget. Ganun. May bagay pala talaga na kailangan mong kalimutan.
Okay, next.
And so
Alternate
for the
DNS
alternate
server.
DNS server, you will enter the Google DNS server IP, which is 8.8.8. Then, validate your configuration and close the panel. Click OK. Joke. Tama ba?
Yeah.
Click OK. And now let us test the server connectivity to be certain center. To be certain that it can reach the external networks and the internet. So you need to open the command prompt and do the Harlem Shake. You need to open the command prompt and do a ping test. But first, as we will use the command prompt often, it will be better that we will pin it to the taskbar so that we can access it quickly. So right click mo ang command prompt and pin to taskbar. And after nyan, in the command prompt, type ping 8.8.8.3. So so yan IP address is the Google IP address, and get a reply from Google after entering it.
Post unreachable. Oh no, we have to read.
Sige lang, after i-thing na na-learn ko sa networking is, pwede mo siya ulitin.
Yes.
To get a full reply, 100% na 0% loss of packets. So after nyan, now that the IP address is set up, you need to restart the computer so that the new server name takes effect, yung gi-enter natin kanina, and after the server manager is displayed, go on the local server option. So after na reset ang computer, na para makita talaga yung gi-enter natin name, after nyan the server manager is displayed, go and click on the local server option. So kailangan ito reset.
Local server, and then we will be restarting it. Okay, restarting it. Restart. User I'm back. Yeah, I'm definitely.
So makita nyo later guys, after the reset ang computer, ang server name na gi-enter kanina will take effect.
Again with the password.
A secret. Sorry. Bakit mali?
Capstack is on. Okay. I have to see if it changed. Yes, it changed.
It changed ba?
Yeah. Now the next task is to add rows.
Add rows. Wait, pinot mo na ako. Add rows.
So So unlike other Windows operating system like Windows 10, uh, you can start using or consuming data just after installing the OS. So in this case, after installing Windows Server, you can't do anything useful at this point because the server's purpose is to serve data in the first place, and until you tell the server what its purpose is, it will do nothing but consume electricity. So
Yes. So for that, you have to tell the servers what's its purpose in life, and this is done by adding roles and features.
okay, so the next thing you have to do is to add role to your server. So what is the first thing that we have to do?
So in adding a role to your server, we will use the server manager. So go under the manage menu
Manage.
and click on the add roles and features. After nyan, the add roles and features wizard. Wizard is displayed, and the first page just displays some helpful information how to use the wizard. With them and click the next button.
Next.
Yes. So in the next page, select the installation type. By default, a role-based or feature-based installation type is selected. Okay. And that is what we need, so click next. And after that, on the next page, we will select the server on which we want to add the roles and the features. So if the server manager is aware of the other servers in the network and has been configured to manage them, it will show them on the server pool list so that you can remotely install the role or the features. So after click the next
Click next.
button. Yes, click the next button. So now select the role you want to attribute to your server from available roles listed. So mano siya ang mga listed ng mga available na roles. So for example, I'll select the DHCP role. A pop-up window is, so for example daw, if mag-select tayo ng DHCP role as a role, a pop-up window is displayed asking if you want to install additional tools so that I can manage the DHCP features from this server. So just accept and add this role. So yun. So anong pilihan natin?
I selected DHCP server. What else do we actually need?
Ha?
What do we actually need to add on our server? So next you can add a feature to your server if needed. Otherwise you can skip this step by clicking the next button. I'll click the next button. Next is
The following page describes the roles you have installed and gives you some advice and actions to perform so that the role you have installed will work as expected. So click on next to go to the final and run the setup. So mano siya ang things to note. So to click next to go to the final step and run the setup. And also, some roles and features require the server to restart. So if you click on the restart, the destination server automatically, if required, the server will automatically restart, and the installation completes without any warning. So be careful with this option because when you add roles or features on a production server, this can lead to a service interruption and cause some problems for your users. And
now we have to click install. So we're starting to installing it.
So this where also again patient is needed.
It haven't. Okay, installing started on PHDC ADC PVNI 01. But it's not yet starting.
Yes, but we have to keep our heads up and make our patience even longer because not all processes and setups are fast than we thought. Okay. So yun, meron siyang progress, at least meron, even if it's konti pa lang. So according to our steps, sorry, according to the steps that were provided, that were given to us, we are almost done with the configuration of Windows Server 2016. So while we are waiting for the setup and installation progress to finish, anong na-learn mo sa task?
It you have to manually add features like hindi siya same sa normal OS like Windows 10 na you can immediately use it. So dito kailangan pa talaga mag-add ka ng features para magamit siya.
So
How
sa
about
akin
you?
is na-learn ko sa pag-configure sa Windows Server 2016 that is hindi lang siya kasi 'di ba last activity we just did the installation and setup process but we didn't even configure them or it. So yun, we still ano siya, marami pa siyang process na undergo for it to be parang matawag as final na jud na pwede siya magamit, ganun. And also, I didn't expect na this would really be a long task pala.
Yes. So, maybe if you start from the start mismo, it may take you hours or
Mm.
especially if you
So,
do not know how to do it.
yes. And kanina pala, yung sa task na device naming convention, according to our source, there is a device name convention anatomy wherein there is a country code, location code, site code, device role, service level, and sequential ID. Kaya yun siya ang gilagay namin, according to our own information, yun siya ang gilagay namin sa aming pag-change namin sa server name. So, PH kasi Philippines, DC kasi Davao City, and ano ga yun? Okay. Basta yun siya. And yun, tapos na?
I am not sure. Yeah, installation succeeded on PHTC. As you can see, there is like a kulang ni siya kuan UI your stick.
Yes, right. So the roles that we
Yes.
have added will be available under the tools menu. So para ma-check mo siya, go to the tools menu. Dito natin ang DHCP na role.
Here.
Yan. So that's it. We are done. So what do you think is the difference between role and feature?
Role and feature, maybe a feature is like the available features. Like, anong pwede mong magawa. While the roles, what do you mean by roles?
Yes. Sa akin is, sige, go.
Yes.
Okay. So, for me, ang role is, ang difference between the two of them is, a feature is like the characteristic of the person to whom you give the role to. So, for example, sa amin dalawa, the roles that we have in the CCS program is, she is the secretary and I am the treasurer. So, we have different features. For example, her feature is she knows how to write, how to document. Yun na. Sige daw, anong features mo?
As
Describe mo
a
sa-
secretary, my features are like I have the skills of writing our minutes, like minutes of the
Yes.
meetings, and also more on documentation. How about your characteristic as a treasurer?
Actually, I didn't expect that this kind of role will be a tiresome kind of role because it does not only involve money, but also ano, you need to keep all the receipts and other documents in order for you to keep track on what you have been spending after receiving the money that came from the school.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi, so I think in having features is how you would describe yourself as being chosen for that kind of role. So that is how we differentiate roles and features. Pero hindi pala. Kasi, ano, the difference in, I actually, pwede siya ma-connect kasi sa question is, what do you think is the difference between roles and features in Windows Server? Kalaya sa tumutubag.
It's like analogy, or like we're like comparing it. It's something like that. We kind of use a metaphor, or like the analogy, right? Analogy. So,
Yes. Yes.
what is the next question?
Actually, oh, actually, yung role na gipili namin, which is HCP, it has its own features on how it will function sa Windows Server
Mm.
2016.
Yeah.
So, it's like HCP has its own characteristic and personality, which serves as its features. Ganun. Yung tuyok lang.
And then our last question is,
Ako basa?
go.
So, our last question in doing this kind of task is, did we ever encounter any issues or problems while doing this task?
Maybe the issue that we had encountered was that I wasn't able to click the change. I wasn't able to change the name, and I forgot, or I wasn't able to notice it. But so overall, there isn't any problem or issues that we have encountered.
Yeah, so that kind of issue or problem, we resolved it immediately and easily because we just followed the instructions that were given to us. Yeah, yun.
So yeah, so that is how we configure Windows Server, or yes, how we configure Windows Server 2016. So, thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching my channel.